right, guys, we are going to go through and do the 3D project that came in the February card club. So what you're going to start out with is a piece of the 12 by 12 designer series paper. So this is the one we're going to use for our cute gift bag. That's what we're going to create. And this is, I love it. I think it's super cool. So the first thing you're going to want to do is consider what direction your paper is going. And most of them are directional, right, in this kit. So we need to take a strip off that is 1.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it this way because we want the strip to be not horizontal, but our vertical side. Okay, so we're going to go to 1.5 here. Let's see. Right, so we're going to take that strip off. And while we're right here, we are going to take this strip and then we are going to cut it down to 1 inch. And this is going to be the part of the handle for our bag. So we're going to cut that down. We only need 1 inch of it. And this piece here, you can toss it or you could use it for maybe a scrap card. All right, so this is now, and when I put my paper in this way, this is the 12 inch, right? This is 12 inches this way, and this is 10.5. So we are going to go ahead and score on the 10.5 inch side at 1.25. Let me make sure I have this right, so I am not telling you incorrectly. Yes, it is 1.25, and it doesn't matter top to bottom because you will see the umbrellas are going both directions. All right, so I just wanted to make sure that I was getting this correctly. Okay, so this is our 1.25 inch, and then we're going to go to 2.5. and score again, 2.5. And again, this is designer series paper, so you don't have to get too crazy as far as, you know, getting that deep crease. Now we're going to flip our paper, and on the bottom, we're going to do 2 inches. All right, so there we go. And we're going to go ahead and do 2 inches that way. Now we're going to take it on the 12 inch side going this way. And we are going to score at 4.5. And I am just double checking, guys, every measurement. I don't want to tell you wrong. And then we're going to extend our arm here. We're going to need that in a little bit. And then we're going to go over to 5 3/4. We're going to go 5 3/4. And score again. Then we are going to go to 10.25, way over here. And then we're going to 11.5. 11.5. So what that's going to give you when you go to 11.5 is just this 1/2 inch over here on the far right. All right. And that is it. So we're going to move our trimmer out of the way, and we are just going to focus on using our bone folder here. And we are just going to crease each one of these. Now, again, you don't have to get too crazy here, but I am going to go over each one of these lines. And it doesn't matter right now. I'm going to actually do it this way. Since that's the way I scored, I think I might get a little bit of a better crease. And as you guys go over this, just always make sure that your paper is lining up kind of at the corners there. Okay, so just go over each one of these. And now we're going to do, we have this one here. And this one I'm actually going to go ahead because I know this is going to go and fold down. So again, we'll crease it this way. And then I have 2 here at the bottom. And I think I may have already done one of those. Yep. All right, here we go. So we have made and kind of just creased each one. Double check that one. Each one of our lines, our score lines. So now what we need to do is we need to start cutting our the ends that we don't need. All right, so if we look over here on that 1/2 inch side, we are going to go ahead and cut these 2 small squares or little rectangle shapes on the very end. Okay, we don't need that. Then we're going to go in the middle, and we have this right here, and we're going to go ahead and cut all the way up to that 2nd score line. And we're going to do the same over here. Go to the 2nd score line, and then we're going to cut this 1st tab off. And then we're going to go, oops, I meant to go over here too. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to cut, and we're going to take off that 1st tab. So this is what you're going to be left with. This is the pattern. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 tabs here, and we're just going to take a little bit of the corners off. And again, this just removes that little bit of bulk that we might have when we when we actually kind of make our box. And so we're going to get rid of a little bit of that, the bulk. Okay, so there we go. All right, I'm going to turn it over this way, and maybe you guys can see a little bit better the score lines. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are ready to start kind of gluing our box together, or our bag, excuse me, our bag together. So the first thing we're going to do is up here, we're just going to take our adhesive and we're just going to run it along the edge here. And then we're going to fold this top part down. And this now is the top of our bag. Now I am using liquid glue. If you want really sturdy, I would probably suggest that you use tear and tape, and that might be the best thing. Okay, now what we're going to do is this part is this is obviously the bottom of our box. So the one thing we are going to do now is take these 2 flaps and we're going to glue them down. Now, we could have just cut these off, but actually these tabs, which I found the nice thing about them, or having this extra, is it is going to give us a great reinforced bottom to our bag. So by keeping these here, we just give our bag a lot more sturdiness. And you will see as you create yours how it really is going to make it feel just a lot more sturdy. Okay. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to adhere this tab, the tab right here, we need to adhere this over to the other side of our bag. So what you're going to do is on that kind of that middle score line, you're just going to bring it over before we even put adhesive down, and you're just going to make sure that it lines up right here on the edge, and it does. I can't even tell you guys how many of these I created. before I created the real one. And I just was off by a 1/4 inch until I got the measurements exact. All right, so now that we know it's going to be, it's going to lay correctly, we're just going to add our adhesive. And again, this might be the place where you might want to add tear and tape if you want to get something a little more sturdy. I really do like the Tombow glue. It gives me a little bit of flexibility, and to be super honest with you, I think it really works. I think it works well. We're not going to be putting, you know, rocks in our bags. We're going to put some cards in here. Oops. Excuse me. There. Move my little board there. Okay, so here we go. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to put it back, and you can see now how we have this nice shaped box, and now we're just going to need to adhere the bottom. So what you're going to want to do is put one flap down, and then we are going to add adhesive, and we can add it right to the bottom of our box here. And then we're going to put our 2 tabs down like so. And now we're going to add more adhesive all to the bottom, or you can add it to the flap here, right here. Let's just go ahead and we'll add this right to the flap. And then we're going to fold this flap right in, and you're going to want to make sure that you line up those corners. And then once you feel like once you can tell, I should say, that it's nice and lined up, you're going to flip it over, take your bone folder, and just rub it all along the edge and all along the bottom. And then you will end up with a nice, sturdy bottom to your bag. And you can, and I know you can't see it, but it's pretty thick down there with that reinforced layer. So it makes for a super nice bag there. Okay, now before we go any further, let's go ahead and get our handle ready. Now, one of the things I found with the handle was if you just leave it with the one sheet of DSP, it works fine, but it's pretty light. So what I found was if I add a piece of white cardstock, and this is the thick white cardstock, I felt like it's gonna give you a little more strength. And it just makes it, I don't know, I think it makes it feel a little bit thicker. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay our piece of cardstock right in the middle here. And you're just going to have these 2 little tabs on both ends. And we are going to fold those in. So we're going to glue down our white strip. So when you glue down your white strip, determine what you want to show at the top here. So I want the umbrellas to show, so I'm going to lay them like that. And now what we're going to do is, again, you can use adhesive or tear and tape here, and then I'm just going to curl these over, these 2 edges over. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Curl that right over. All right, and now I'm just going to run this. You can use your bone folder. I'm just going to use my fingers here just to kind of get this a little more pliable. And then what we're going to end up doing is just taking this and putting the 2 sides right on the edge to create our handle. Okay, I'm just going to get this so it's just a little less There we go. All right, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to adhere it right over here to the side, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. So just find out, make sure you have something similar on both sides, right? Because you don't want to come up short. It's about an inch, I would say, that you want on both sides, because you want a handle that's not too terribly big, but not too terribly. So just add your adhesive right on to that edge. And then you're just going to place it on the inside of your bag. And then you're just going to hold that there. Okay, if you guys can see that. Just find out where that kind of middle area is. Line it up, and then you're just going to press it. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Add our adhesive, about an inch. Add a little bit more there. And just lay that right inside. There we go. And just again, make sure, nice thing is, you know, depending on if you use the Tombow, get a little chance to move it around a little bit in there. Okay. And that is our bag. Isn't that adorable? Now we're not quite done. We have another piece to do. So first of all, I want you guys to notice this is right here is our seam. We probably want that to be in the back of our bag, not the front of our bag. So now what you're going to need to do is you are going to grab one of these clear medium-sized envelopes, and we are actually going to put that on the front of our box. So now if you wanted, you could make it so, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a card in there. So you could, if you want this to be on the back of the box, or again, the front, totally up to you. In a way, it's kind of sad because it's such a pretty box, right? You hate to cover it up. So we're going to take that plastic piece off, and we're going to move that. Right now, we're just going to keep it right there for a minute. Then we're going to take some of our, now you can use, and again, any adhesive, you could use your tear and tape. I'm going to run this Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to run it all the way down in a couple spots here. Oops. And then I'm going to pull this back and put some more right across the top. Now, when you go to line this up, just make sure that you line it up straight. So I'm actually going to start at the bottom of my box and just leave maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, something like that. And then I'm going to slowly put it toward the top. And again, make sure that it stays straight. And then you're just going to adhere that right down onto the front of your box. And now what you have is you've got this little envelope, and you're going to be able to take one of our cards that we just made, and you're going to pop it right in the front of your box. And there you have a great gift. And guys, I put in, I think 4 or 5 cards in here, and there's room for envelopes. This just bends back, and they can fit right inside. So that would make for an awesome gift. The other thing I thought is you could put a game in there as we talk about rainy days. If someone's sick, you could put, and you're sending them maybe something like a little get well or something like that. You could put some tissues and a little bag of cough drops in there. So it is just, I thought it was adorable, and it only takes one piece of designer series paper. So if you got the card club kit, you made 8 cards and you still have probably 6 pieces of designer series paper, you could make another bag and take half your cards and put them in there, and take the other 4 and put them in another bag, or keep them for yourself, whatever you'd like to do. But I thought it was super, super cute, super adorable. So I hope you guys liked it. I think that's it. And hope you enjoyed this month's card club. Next month's for March, we are going to use By the Bay. I believe that's going to be the set that we are going to choose, but more on that later. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.